This is called Dónall Dempsey indeed. That's the title of the poem. Dónall Dempsey indeed. Leonard Yesmith. He squinted at my driver's license. It's pronounced Clanad, I said with extreme exasperation. The double L's sound as You're not from these here parts, are you, fella? He drawled dryly, squinting closer, firstly at me, then again to my ID. I'm of Welsh, Turkish extraction, but I was born on Venus, I explained as if to a little kid. He snorted, a tiny trickle of snot yo-yoing up and down his hairy left nostril. If you was to spell your name backwards, it would spell Dónall Dempsey. I was not amused. You know, that crazy, hairy, Irish earthling poet dude? I'm not him, I fumed. All right, keep your antennas on. Jeez. He handed me back my ID, tipped his hat, wiped his nose across his sleeve. Welcome to Mars. You drive carefully now. I stepped on the rocket boosters, left them eating my stardust. Bloody customs, I yelled to myself. Dónall Dempsey indeed. As it happens, I am the real Dónall Dempsey, not Leonard Yesmith. That's just something Ernie made up. He was very backwards in learning my name, and he used to call me my name backwards. People find Dónall very hard to pronounce. My little girl couldn't pronounce my name unless she called me it twice. So for a period of my life, I was always Dónall, Dónall. Dónall, Dónall, get me sweets. Yes, Dónall, Dónall, well. So this is called Dónall Dempsey if you put it into the Irish. The name that is on me is Dónall Dempsey. Dónall Dempsey I was born the weight of a bag of sugar, 2 pounds to be precise. That was all there was to me. My belly, alas, weighs more than that now. The dad could hold me in his fist and I'd disappear, except for the little dangly dancing leggy bits. I'd Elvis sideburns, I was all shook up, and entered this world of ours feet first, putting my best foot forward, ready to rock and roll, man. Doris Day was singing Que Sera, Sera. And what do you think they called the tiniest baby ever seen? Why, Dónall. Dónall, of course. Dónall, meaning world mighty spear power, and Dempsey itself, meaning the proud one. Oh, the majesty of the Celtic tongue. A wrestler's name if ever. And in the green corner, or an Ozymandias name, look on my works, ye mighty and despair. The ma would always spoil it for me. World mighty spear power, the proud one. You get your ass in here this minute and finish your homework. An awful big name to be sure, for a little fella to live up to. But sure, I do my best, putting words to the test, wrestling with rhyme, stealing through your mind. For I am I not, the poet with the hyperbolic name. World mighty spear power, the proud one! Probably been my name. You made the opening incision with almost clinical precision. Took the heart out, found it wanting. Took the top off the head, removed the mind. What exactly was it you expected to find? You looked at me with sad eyes that said it wouldn't have hurt half as much if you'd only waited till I was dead. It was my daughter's 3rd year being herself, and she had about 40 of her little peers all around, and they were going absolutely bananas, and they're going absolutely bananas in the other room. And I thought, oh, this is terrible, I'm just going to have to go in there and stop that. And as I approached the door and put my hand on the knob, it stopped. And now the silence was even more frightening. And just as I reached to turn the handle, it opened, hit me in the face, and 40 little kids came in and they basically said this haiku to me. It's called New Dog, Old Tricks. The dog's in the loo! We was teaching him to pee! And he just fell in. Have you ever seen a little Yorkie trying to scrap gobble up a porcelain bowl. It ain't funny. I'd like to take you back to the early 70s. It's a beautiful sunny day. Sunlight is dancing all the motes. I'm in my dad's sports store. He was a quartermaster in the army, and I'm helping him with his ledgers. His ledgers were about this size, and he'd have the glasses down the nose like that, and he'd go, balls, soccer, 50, and I'd got 50. Balls, rugby, 50, 50. Balls, medicine, 50, and it went on like that. This is about my first dance partner as well too. So it was a very unusual dance partner. So this is called Anatomy of a Dancer. You put your hand in mine and we dance. Or rather I jive you and you shake, rattle and roll. I am aware of all 27 bones your hand contains. I see, even at this young age, how the rotation of the radius and the ulna results in the supination and pronation of the hand, and you look at me with those dead eyes and dance. My quartermaster father shouts from the back of his store, Dónall, leave the bloody instruction skeleton in peace. Sunlight dances at the motes. I was always fascinated you were dead. Dead real. Wondered who you were before you were a skeleton hanging from a thread. My skeleton answering to yours, I still only more flesh and blood. How often did we dance, your skeleton and I? Years later, the army remembers you were once a man and buries you with full military honours. In dream, I still take you by the hand and shaky, hey shaky, I call to you, let's dance. And you grin that deathless grin, and we fall out of time and space, dancing, dancing beyond the grave. Thank you. It used to be basically a selection of Barbie's Darren tracks like multiplication and stuff like that. This is called The Music of What Happens. How many people have seen John Huston's version of Joyce's The Dead, the movie? He made it when he was 80. He was very bad health. He used to have things dangling from his nose and tubes here, and he used to get up and direct it. It was posthumously. There's a lovely section in it where he realises that he's not close to his wife and that she loves her lover from the past, the young guy who died from pneumonia. And he says the words, snow is falling all over Ireland. And as he says that bit, it shows the old English graveyard in the Curragh. So have you ever seen that movie? That's what this is. I'm studying for my leaving. It's called The Music of What Happens. The sun, a crazy crayoned yellow swirl, with a sky so blue it has completely used up the blue crayon. This is memories drawn of a moment from 1972, complete with furs declaring, we are yellow too. I sit stick-person-like upon an Irish hill, upon which perches the old English graveyard. I read to English soldiers from 1872, Mary Barton and Norton South and such like. A captive audience of broken Celtic crosses. They listen with all of themselves. They listen through wildflowers and grasses, holding fast to the sound of my living voice. And when sun showers interrupt the text of my breath, I climb inside some tumble-down tomb and read so that even the rain stops to listen, and then I freewheel down the hill back to the world of tea, my dead soldiers eagerly awaiting tomorrow's chapter. Thank you. This is called The Stars Are Lonely. My granny used to be full of sayings, and I was looking at the stars one night and she told me that the stars are lonely because they're not human. Or she'd say, that Brian Baker there, he'd shave rashers off the devil's arse and ate them with relish. Stuff like that. So her other one was, I've got 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot in the gravy. This is to illustrate the stars are lonely one. The stars are lonely, they are not human. Trapped outside the glass, they watch Granny's every movement as she swings the big bubbling black pot over the hungry flames. Inside it, potatoes dance in their jackets. Children crane to look all the way up to the chimney's top, where tiny stars nail the night to the sky. As soot falls, the darkness is all. Granny's voice wanders among shadows, plucking here a word, there a phrase for flavour, cooking up a story that snatches at your soul. In me father's time, and the time before that, there lived a little boy who wouldn't be alive very much longer. Thank you. I had a friend and she was in this terrible relationship, and she used to get beaten up all the time, and we used to beg her, please, please leave the handsome stud she was with, and she wouldn't. And the thing that made her leave him finally was that she had a heart attack. She was brushing her hair in the mirror and she had a heart attack, and she just fell out of the mirror and fell off the planet, and that's what decided her that there has to be more to life than getting beaten up by John. This is before she realised that she should indeed leave John. It's called bibbidiboo. She always felt as if she were pulled out of his hat, a trick that always made her gasp. A cute little play-by bunny, the trophy wife to a T. Oh, he was a magician with words. He could talk the hind limb off a jabberwock, and that he could make her disappear and leave her there, waiting in the dark for him to abracadabra her back into being. His spangled assistant, her smile nailed on, gums bleeding. She just another stage prop in the act that always left her half sawed in half, the lights blinding her. Thank you. Are people aware of the shipping forecast? Yeah. That iconic scroll of words that we all listened to as a child. All right, so this is a take. It's called, and now the relationship crisis forecast issued by the sane side of yourself on behalf of the Merry Time and Keep Your Guard Up agency. The general synopsis at midlife is late 40s, dogged by blighted love life. New all-time low expected by that time. Sex, occasionally very poor at first, becoming moderate or good. Fuck all, hand over fist, wanker. Marriage, 3 or 4, becoming a bore. Blonde man trap, 34, 24, 34. Sexy Miss Fitzroy, formerly Finisterre. Affair deepening rapidly, expected imminent. Getting carried away, hoisted by one's own petard. Chances it'll work out alright, moderate becoming decreasingly slight. Fair Isle sweater left carelessly behind in car. Big mistake. Violent storm warning. Boyfriend built like Viking. Gulp, knocked over white. Becoming cyclonic, moronic. Severe icing. Oh shite, despair, panic, fright. What more can go wrong? Chelsea 2. West Ham 1. Porn gossip, Lundy Fastnet informs wife. Accused of infidelities, backing off into continual lying, veering towards disbelief, clothes thrown out in street, locks changed, cut fast in net like trashing fish, future visibility, moderate becoming poor, in showers, drunk again, singing in the rain. What's it all about, Alfie? Thank you. We've just come back from New Delhi, where we launched The Smell of Purple. So I'll read you a few from that. This one is called I Feel Pretty. Oh, so pretty. And we were a very naked family. Mum, Dad, little girl used to go around with them, puff and think no more of it. Tilly, when she came into the morning, we were just sort of a mountain of flesh, and she would jump upon us. And she would land on my wife's left breast or on my right testicle. You ever had your right testicle trodden upon it?
No.
Witch up, really quick. That's got nothing to do with that. This is another time where we're very hungover, darling. We've been to a cocktail party and we're very much the worse for wear. And Tilly is going to come in and wake us up, as usual. It's called I Feel Pretty. Oh, so pretty. I awake, covered in glorious glitter, smelling strongly of PVA glue, sticking to my cheek, very hung over, and covered in blue, orange, yellow, red feathers. A bubble recently blown perched upon my nose, I still half comatose. Tiny bubbles travel amongst my curls, as through a bigger bubble brightly, nestling neatly over my right eye, I observe my tiny daughter purse her lips and kiss more bubbles into being. Tilly! I force my lips still frozen in sleep, to somehow speak. What you do? Even my syntax and sentence structuring is shot. She smiles sweetly. I'm pitying you. Great. So we finish with this one. It's my only Irish poem that I have. The first part is in Irish. It's called Oscailga, which means indeed in Irish. My wife and I longed to have a baby, and although we had great fun practicing, no baby had as yet materialised. But we kept on practicing. There was lots of fun. We went for test after the test. We did every test in the world, and still no baby. And we had one last test. It's probably too much information. I shouldn't tell you really. We had to see whether the fallopian tubes were clear. Details like that to sort of shake Ernie a bit. Fallopian tubes. Yeah, all right. Anyway, we went for the test and it was cancelled, and it took 6 months for the next test, and we went for that and it was cancelled, and we were a year and a half of cancelled tests when we fell pregnant. All by ourselves. Don't ask me how I done it, but there you go. So we, the royal we, were pregnant. And my wife was Finnish, and I used to sleep down by her belly, and I've got very little Irish, but I used to do a patchwork quilt of all the little Irish phrases I knew, stick them together, and I used to sing songs to her belly and little scraps of Irish poems and stuff like that. And she used to say, keep talking, I don't know what you're saying, but it's putting me to sleep. That's the effect I have on women. Make a place. See, nearly lost her, nearly lost her. So this is called Oscailga. Dún the Sula, close your eyes. Cuddle go law, my gras eve. Sleep until day, my gentle love. Cuddle go sov, sleep peacefully, peacefully. I roke on Galaksha is rocky on green shafi. This moon will rise, this sun will set. Aragus gra I goni, care and love always. Gach ihas, gach laws, gach iha. Every night, every day, every night. My plurine, my storine, my mooring, my little flower, my little treasure, my little darling. Ach nish, but now, cuddle go solve, go sieve. Sleep peacefully, gently, go fáine an lay, until the break of day. The Misha or the Tave, with me by your side. Losing our baby late into the night, holding this little thing that only attempted to be human, unable to let go, I clasped the fetus tightly in my hand and buried it in the dawn of our local park under a recently planted red rose bush. In my grief, flower and baby became one, and night after night I climbed over high railings and even higher stars to talk to her in the dark in Irish, or sing my love is like a red, red rose, or cry, or cry. Almost got arrested one night by an Irish cop, drawn to the sound of Irish emerging from the darkness. Guess he let me go because it wouldn't look good on a charge sheet. The defendant was talking and crying to a flower in Irish. Éist, éist, listen, listen. Dinna éigean ag cíne. Someone is crying in a darkasan, in his darkness. Fill aruno, oh, fill aruno is na imi home. Fill arum a kushla sto, oh. Agus chifip to an glor. Ireland. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dónall Dempsey. Okay, we're going to have our first break, but before we do that,